just to save time and to help me gather my thoughts because I'm using a different deck. So right off the bat, one of the main things I'm seeing for the month of November is that there are going to be a lot of social functions. I see you, constantly moving around, shuffling around, traveling around different cities. I don't see like overseas voyages, but I see like a lot of shifting between cities, like the Tri-City area, metropolitan areas, going bouncing around. There's a lot of busy energies. A lot of it comes through, friendships, social interactions, and I do sense a lot of events where there are caterers, flower people, like floral arrangements, such as like, weddings, engagement parties. So a lot of like, I would say like top-notch events, and I just see a lot of flowers all around. So I feel like this is going to be a very, very busy month and also a very joyous month for a lot of you. What I'm also feeling is it seems almost like there are going to be quite a few expenditures. And if you're going to these events naturally, if it's weddings or something, there's going to be, I see a lot of you are handling out money or like physical gifts and things like that to whoever it is that's hosting the event. So it leads me to believe it might be a lot of engagement parties or weddings, birthdays as well. So, just busy, busy energy floating all around. Um, what I do feel is at these functions, you are going to run into exes, okay? And for some reason, for the past few months, I keep seeing a particular ex showing up, and what I'm sensing is for the X, it might be an earth sign. So a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And this is somebody I feel like you have a significant history with because they keep coming in and out of the picture. And they've been, in and out of the picture for a few months now, just darting back and forth in the landscape. So I feel like there might be some interactions. There might be, mutual friends, mutual like relatives and things like that, and you run into the same social circle. So I see that energy coming back in, and I almost see you thinking like, what if like we were to reconcile? And then I see you admonishing yourself, like, no, it's not going to work out. So, whatever it is, if it's just, residual energy from the past few months, try to let it go because I feel like, it's linked up with a not so great card here. So, I would just advise you, try to leave that behind. On the other hand, I feel that for a lot of you, you might, through all of these social functions, get some information about your ex, and that might give you closure and for you to finally just close the door on that chapter of your life and just move on. So I feel like, the ex might be linked up with somebody else and you might run into them. So that's a little bit of an awkward energy. And I see you putting on like a brave face. I see you putting on a happy face. So I feel like you are over it. It's just, something unexpected, but I feel that you handle yourself very well. And you yourself, I feel you're dating. I don't see a significant new person. I don't feel that energy. But I feel like you're over it. You're happy with your life. You're very, very happy and in high demand when it comes to your social circle. So I don't sense that, you're going to be shifting back to exes and things like that. You might entertain the thoughts, but I don't feel that you're going to be doing that because I feel like in the greater scheme of things, I'm getting the message that they walking out on you is probably one of the best things that really helped you provide your life with a better sense of direction. Because, when you're with somebody and you're working at cross purposes with one another in a relationship, it tends to destabilize other areas of your life, such as your work. You might have to choose a career path, a location, in order to accommodate them. And if you're not like in accordance with one another, your career track was kind of like put on hold or at least affected by that relationship. And I feel like once they left the picture, your life is going swimmingly well. And once they're back in, there's some type of lull or stall when it comes to your goals and your higher long-term plans. So they put a wrench in the works every time they try to come back in and every time you let them back in. So it's really important for you to just like see it for what it is, close the door on that chapter and just move on because things are looking very good, when they're out of the picture, things tend to flourish for you socially, professionally, and even I feel academically for a lot of you, okay? So I'm talking about, especially people who've been dealing with the same person for years and years, like, coming in and out of your life. Just let it go, all right? So let's go into your reading here. That was the initial message that I got from shuffling. And I feel that, once I lay out the cards, it helps me concentrate on those messages better so that they're not, I'm not shuffling and then relaying messages at the same time because then certain things are not explained well, okay? So it's basically the same spread that I've been doing. I just laid out all the cards and the cards are smaller so they fit on screen. So I'm just going to use this format because it helps me narrow certain things. And it helps me also see all the cards at once and see how they, engage with one another. So the first cluster that we have here is the Empress energy as well as the Five of Swords. So one of the first thing right off the bat here we have to emphasize here is with the Empress. The Empress deals with pregnancy, fertility, that sense of female empowerment, but more than anything, it deals with our capacity to like love somebody unconditionally and to give of ourselves and to know when to hold back. Okay, so it's a very, very nurturing maternal figure that is in the picture for you for this month. Somebody is going to exhibit, this energy, and a lot of you, I feel like you might be surrounded by people who are just a little bit like stressed out. They might be a little bit hormonal due to hormonal fluctuations because, they're carrying or they're pregnant. And I do feel there might be some strife coming through as a result of that. It seems to me like it's a very short snippet of like, it seems like it's a very, very short blip on your radar and then it's going to go away. And I feel like for a lot of you, you might be dealing with, maternal figures as well. Your mother, your grandmother, your aunt, somebody who is considered like a maternal figure in your life. They might tell you some things that you don't want to hear, or they might say something that might rub you the wrong way. Keep in mind that they have the best intentions. They want what's best for you, and for some of you it might be an air sign, an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra, and you might not feel that they are in a position to give you guidance when it comes to like financial advice. I feel that they're in a good position to do that. When it comes to love and things like that, we feel most of the time that relationship advice are best. Like relationships advice should only be dished out when it's solicited. So I feel like you're taking that energy where you are thinking you're getting just a little bit defensive when somebody is giving you relationship advice, and it might come through in a very, very loving way, and you might misinterpret the intention. So just be careful about that. I do see a lot of pregnancy energies around you, so be careful if you are not expecting. Just protect yourself accordingly. I'm also feeling there's an element here about fertility treatment. If you've been like unsuccessfully like trying to get pregnant and there might be some issues or there might have been blockages, I do feel these blockages clearing up. So there we have like very, very strong fertile pregnant energies. Just protect yourself accordingly, okay? What I'm also feeling is there are discussions about pregnancy, and I do see for those of you in the like I would say 40s age range. I feel that that biological clock situation is ticking, and it's a serious thing, and I feel that you're going to have a serious discussions or a series of serious discussions with your partner about, where this is going, where the relationship is headed. Are we still on the same page? And do we need to like move the relationship along? Because some of you might want to establish a family and you're, waiting for that person to pop the question. For example, if you are in long established relationships, I definitely feel proposals and things like that coming through to take the relationship to the next level. And I do feel a lot of you are like right now very, very financially sound. It seems to me if you're in a relationship, you are financially sound. Your partner, if they've had financial fluctuations, they are getting back on their feet. So I feel discussions and things like that as it pertains to marriage, family planning, and things like that. That's very, very prominent in this for this month with the Empress and the Four of Wands. This is a marriage card. So it looks very, very good overall, especially for coupled people who are stable. Okay. What's also coming through here with your financial situation? I do feel here we have the Four of Pentacles, and the Four of Pentacles usually indicates a situation where we are starting to think very seriously about our savings. We're not spending money recklessly, lavishly, or at least, in the past, if money has just been coming in abundance and leaving your purse just as fast, this is the month in which you're really sitting down and you're really thinking about your long-term financial planning. I do see money being put in savings, money being put into like retirement account, pensions account, and even like invested in a fruitful way. So this is a month for you to make investment, to not let money leave your hands or to spend lavishly. And I feel like a lot of you are becoming a lot more careful and diligent about bookkeeping, knowing what's coming in, knowing what's going out. And I don't see financial worries so much, but I definitely feel like a more mature way of handling finances, because I do feel a lot of you are thinking about, long-term retirement, travel opportunities as well. So if you are traveling a lot, and I feel a lot of you are, there will be expenditures, but I feel like you're getting a grip on it and you are, saving up, okay? Um, everything can be done very, very cheaply if we do a little bit of research. So try to, if you are traveling a lot, try to travel on a budget, find ways to do that. And, it's not always about like going out to expensive restaurants and, with the latest dresses and things like that, or, that can apply for men, women. So just be sure that, just be certain that, if you're traveling a lot to see a specific person and it's a dear friend or a family member, just somebody you care about, quality time is what's important. And quality time, it's free, but it means a lot. So keep that in mind, because I feel like you need to curb your spending. And I do feel like, okay, um, what it's also saying to you is that if you have a lot of social functions where you have to physically give out money, you're going to recoup whatever you're giving out in about 9 months' time. So I don't feel that you need to worry about it excessively. If it's like, things that you have to physically give away, money that you have to physically give away, it is going to a good cause. And it's also going to like, whatever you put out, you're going to get back. It might not be immediate, but I do see something here coming back through in about 9 months' time, and you're going to recoup your losses for right now. Okay. I do see like being conservative with gambling, betting on games is what I'm sensing. So the Chariot card usually indicates like, a victory, sporting events and things like that. And I do sense here they're saying try to hold on tight to your money and not scatter it in this manner, especially if someone is telling you like, hey, I've got this great tip for you. Just be careful for this month because the energy is a little bit shifty when it comes to financial advice, okay? So the next situation coming through is exactly that. It is financial advice. We have here the King of Pentacles linked in with the Moon card. So first of all, if someone tells you, hey, I've got this great investment opportunity, everybody's doing it, here's a little tip for you, I would just hold off on that, and I would do, if I were you, I would just do the additional background research and see if it really pans out, or at least, never invest or bet more than you're willing to lose. It is a huge gamble, so you want to just don't bet more than you're willing to, part with, okay? First of all, the overwhelming energy that I'm getting with these two cards is that a lot of you might be dealing with an earth sign. So a Taurus, a Virgo, or a Capricorn. If this is a person that is your boss, and if it's a boss, it might not be an earth sign. If it's somebody that, represents the quality of an earth sign, but they might be your boss without having the sun, moon rising in an earth sign. I do feel there is some type of conflicting energies regarding this person. They feel that you feel like they're telling you to do one thing, and then they're, you feel like they have hidden agendas, hidden motives. So I do sense it is a little bit wise for you to look into their motives and to figure out what it is that they're getting at. What I'm also sensing as well is a lot of you might be thinking about, probably investing in a home. And if somebody's coming in with you and saying like, do you want to invest in this property with me? We'll split the profits. I feel property it's going to be good for you. Investing in property with another person, especially, I feel it's a good time to do that. However, if it's like, you're the one that is investing solely alone, then I don't recommend that. But if they're like coming in, meeting you halfway, whatever you put in, they match you, then that seems like it's going to be stable, okay? So I do feel like you're going to be questioning some people's motives, especially if you're dealing with an earth sign. If this is an ex, and I feel for a majority of you, this is a very, very handsome ex-boyfriend that, ex-partner, I would say, because we have, male, females, and other people watching this, so it could be, like ex-partner, I would say. A earth sign, very dominant, prominent earth sign, somebody who makes quite a bit of money. I do feel like striking, handsome, or beautiful. Like it's somebody who's very, classically beautiful, handsome, financially stable. I feel there is some confusing energy. This person might come in with proposals and things like that. They might pass it off as, hey, let's go out for a drink. Haven't, caught up with you in a while. I would question their motives. There's something here about, hidden agendas with the moon card where motives and intentions are not really clearly laid out. So you might just, meet them, run into them at a gathering. And I do feel, there is that sense of like rekindled romance. It might just be like a very short burst where you might end up with doing like a one night stand and then, possibly even regretting it. And I do feel like then you get confused because I feel like their intentions were clear from the get-go, but the emotions take over, and then you both end up at square one where things get confusing and things didn't work out the past few times. So this time is no different. So just be careful about that, okay? Don't let your emotions overrun your logic, and to really be discerning if you're dealing with someone who consistently is in and out of your life, because I feel like that's the what you see is pretty much what you get with this person. If they're consistently in and out, they might have confusing communication, but the point is that if they're not consistently there, that means that it's not going to give you a solid foundation. So just keep that in mind. Financial investment with another person in property is going to pan out well. And I feel there is some solicitations for some of you. If you own property, somebody might be like, and you have like I'm seeing this can be you or another person. If somebody owns property and they're planning to rent it out and move somewhere else, I feel that you and another person are going to have discussions about that, and you're going to have like, hey, can we rent your house out to do such and such that might not be completely legal, which is, growing stuff, for example, or even using the property for other things. So, whatever that means to you, I would be very, very careful. I would be, extra careful about, resorting to that. Or like, so, it's going to play out in a myriad of ways, but I would just warn you to be careful. Take care of your property, because your property, a lot of times, it acts as your foundation. It's a stabilizing force in your life because you're a fire sign. You're very like, freedom loving and free roaming. So property usually is an earth element. It serves as an anchor in your life. It gives your life a sense of I would say stability. And when, somebody else is in there doing something else, even though you're renting it out, I don't feel that's a great idea. So just keep that in mind if you are having discussions with somebody and they're like, hey, can I rent out your house and do this, do that? I don't feel they're going to lie to you. They trust you, so they're going to be honest. Just make sure that their activities are not illegal where it would affect you negatively, okay? That's and especially if you have, feelings for this person and you can't say no to them, that's not a good start. So just keep that in mind, okay, Aries? The last two cards that are coming through here is the Page of Swords as well as the Nine of Pentacles. First of all, a lot of you are going to be dealing with an air sign, an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra. And they are going to bring with them some good financial news, okay? So you might just be getting news from all over in general, but I do feel this specifically pertains to somebody who is self-employed. They're telling you about, what they're doing and how they're able to get where they are financially. So you're getting a lot of tips. You're getting a lot of, I also feel, a very spiritual vibe with this card every time I see it, the Nine of Pentacles. So it seems to me that you might be dealing with somebody who's self-employed. You might be dealing with somebody who is like very spiritual. That is an air sign, an Aquarius, Gemini, or a Libra. They seem to me to be like a younger energy. So I would say like, 35 years old maximum. And there's a lot of communication coming back and forth between you and this person. And I do feel as well, they want to, I'm sensing that they want to tell you a lot more than they're going to tell you when they come in. And it's really important to be open-minded, to like be all ears and not be judgmental. Like I said, relationships advice are best given only when they are solicited, okay? And so if whatever they're telling you, I do feel they fear judgment, so they come in armed, okay? I don't feel there's conflict. I don't feel there's trouble, but I feel like they need your support. And, the nature of air sign people is that they're not going to tell you up front, hey, I just need you to be quiet. I just want to vent, or I just want to tell you this one thing. I don't need your advice. They're not going to say that. So I feel like it's up to you to read body language and to try to hold back. If you feel like you want to, interject and give your advice, it's really important for you to ask them, what do you want from me? Do you want me to just listen? Do you want to just gossip with me, or do you want my advice? And then go from there. Establish some type of boundaries, establish clear baselines so that both parties know what to expect. Because I feel like they want to tell you a lot. They have a lot that's bottled up, but they're afraid of judgment. So they're coming in a little bit on the defense and a little bit armed, okay? So keep that in mind. I do see a lot of messages from far away. I do see people traveling to come see you, you traveling to come see them. Messages being delivered from far away. a lot of it is like best done face to face. Text messages and, overall important communication should be saved for over the phone or in person, because a lot of things are like misconstrued. Somebody is like holding back their feelings. The other person is like, oh, it's like this. So there's a lot of confusion when it comes to communication overall. Everyone means well, but I feel like there is a discordant energy that's not really driving well in the ways that you all interact. So just be careful about that, okay? And I don't feel this is coming from your end. Just be receptive when you have somebody coming through, and, try to hold back on the advice. Now, in terms of your spiritual advice, we do have the Four of Wands, which is traditionally a marriage card. We do have the Page of Pentacles as well. This is a very, very stable house, marriage type of a situation. If you are involved with an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, I do feel, if you're in a long-standing relationship, there's going to be proposals coming through, or at least discussions about engagement, taking relationships to the next level, and things like that. And I mentioned earlier, if you've been dating this earth sign, there might be, some type of a event where you run into them. You might be trying to figure out, if they're seeing somebody, and you might be just curiously trying to, figure out some information from your end about what they're up to. So I do see that there is some clarity, some light, or some research necessary in this area on this person in order to understand and gauge clear intentions and motives, okay? So that's what I do feel coming through for you all. And it looks to be a very, very busy, but a very good month. So let me see what's in store for you for love and relationships. Give me 1 second, and I'm going to the cards shuffled out here. So, romance, love, relationships for Aries for the month of November 2016. What is in store? You got an air sign that is like in hot pursuit. Okay. So I pulled out 3 cards here because I wanted to see about the Five of Cups, what it's linked up with. But let me just talk about the past first, so that you know whether or not the situation is applicable to your present predicament right now. So we do have here the Knight of Swords as well as the Queen of Wands. And I feel like the Queen of Wands represents your energy, and the Knight of Swords is another person that you've been dealing with for quite some time. It's been an ongoing thing, or it's been something that happened in the past, okay? So I feel like a lot of you are with an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising. I feel like this is a relationship where you put a lot of love and devotion to try to nurture, to try to, foster and cultivate the relationship, cultivate the other person. You were very, very emotionally supportive of the other person. You tried your best to, give them a stable foundation, give them whatever is necessary in order for them to thrive and to go out in the world and to find themselves and to, develop their skills, grow to their capacity. And I feel like you're dealing with somebody who is a little bit hot-headed. They might have issues with concentration. So I feel like you might have taken on the role of the mentor. So not only are you a relationship partner, you were also the mentor, the person that they always bounce ideas off of, the person that they always come to for advice. And I feel like you might be dealing with somebody who, with good intentions, but they might have a tendency to. I see concentration problems. I see like darting from one project to the next, leaving projects unfinished. Somebody that might have difficulty staying focused, staying in one place. And I feel like you were always there to give them that, that support. Um, if this person is still in your life, I do feel that they're now coming back in to I guess like to balance it out. So whatever was you were doing in the past to nurture them, I feel that they've hit some type of success in their own lives and they're coming back to nurture you. So I do see reciprocity if you have been in this situation, if it sounds familiar to you. I do see the beginning of reciprocity, one person taking care of another while they're down on their luck. And now the situation is being reversed and they're coming in very adamantly, like showing their appreciation or at least pursuing you. Okay? So it is overall very, very positive energy. It's very straightforward. There is like a lot of trust and a lot of like just loving somebody on a human level and wanting them to be okay. So I feel like you did a lot of that. You put in a lot of work in a relationship. For others of you who, is no longer with this person, they might be an ex, for example. I feel like you gave so much of yourself. And I feel like this overly, um, like this overly like maternal energy where you fed them, you cooked for them, and then the other person was a little bit difficult, like almost accusatory. So it's like you don't really see eye to eye. You care about them, and you let a lot of things, like slide. Like you let their behavior slide, and I feel like they might have taken you for granted. They might have taken you for granted. You're no longer with them. You feel almost like you did so much and then at the end of it they're not appreciative. Okay, so that's why I feel like they might be in your past. What's coming in, which brings us to the present moment here. We do have the Eight of Wands as well as the Queen of Swords. Now, the Eight of Wands indicates, like, that traditionally it's like a lot of fast, rapid communication, a lot of travel, as well as a lot of like reciprocity when it comes to communication. A lot of you might be dealing with an air sign, an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra, who might be new or who might be, coming back in from the past. Things are getting better for them, and they're communicating with you either trying to move the relationship along because I feel like they are financially stable now and they're in a really good space and they want to take the relationship to the next level. For others of you, I feel like there might be some sense of like a geographical distance between the two of you where you are communicating a lot like via text messages. If this is a new person, there's like very, very hot, heavy energy, and I feel like it's has the potential to be a very, very good partner. What I do sense as well is when I mentioned earlier that communication is going to be a little bit difficult for this month. Whatever that's important, try to save that for a face-to-face conversation Rather, the person is an air sign, so Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. They might have a tendency to do everything over text or over emails, and it's really hard for you as a fire sign to like sit there and I see you getting a little bit frustrated having to read these long-winded emails or text messages. So I feel that it's best for you to say like, hey, if it's important, just give me a call, So I feel like that can go a long way, or at least, saving time to catch up with this person rather. But I do see a lot of text messages. It can be friendly, it can be intellectual. It just, there's a lot of like good information here that can be had in this relationship. If you've got an ex and they're coming back through, just be very, very careful, because your friends and family are telling you, no, don't let that happen again. And I feel that they're right. And I feel like, you tend to be a little bit stubborn when it comes to matters of the heart. Everyone is. And, we can't help how we feel, and we feel what we feel. And when other people tell us how we should feel, is not going to work out. So I feel like for some of you exes coming back through, you might be defending your exes against like, your friends. You might be trying to keep it clandestine because you don't want to have to, face the crowd of people that are just like, what are you doing? So there's a lot of, worries, anxieties about, exes coming back in. And I feel like a lot of you, whatever you need to do, if you feel like you need to give that relationship one last chance, just to know whether or not is just so you can be done with it for good, that's fine. But I feel like a lot of you might be hiding some things from your people you love or people you trust, mainly because the people you trust might not support you. Okay, so you're kind of like, you feel a little bit like you're on your own in this situation, and it's got you really worried. I do feel an element of shame for some of you who are going back to an ex, and people around you are telling you like, no, don't do that, you know better. And I feel like you're still going to do it, but I feel that there's no need to live with shame. It is your life, but also if you feel like you absolutely need to get back together with them one last time just to be done with it for good, and if it's like, the last straw, just to see how things are going to pan out, don't feel that shame. You don't need to explain your motives to other people because, obviously they care about you and they don't want you to get hurt, but it is your life. So if you need that last confirmation, closure, do it. And do it without having to rationalize, without having to feel whatever shame it is, because shame brought into a new relationship, even though it's an ex, if it comes in, it's not going to be good. So I feel like a lot of you are in a situation, if it's not an ex, you're dealing with somebody and you're making a lot of excuses, okay? Like, it's sort of like you've invested so much of your time, and you're waiting for things to turn around. And a lot of you are just like, that initial sunk cost, you've invested too much already. So if you were to like convince yourself this is not worth it, I need to back out, then you know that you've lost a lot of investment. So I feel like a lot of you are into it, in it too deep. So you feel like, I need to rationalize this. I need to like, um, justify it somehow in my head. I hope that makes sense. And I hope you're not dealing with this. But I do see that energy where you're just like, I need to justify it. I need to put on a brave face and pretend everything is okay because I've invested too much of my, whichever type of story is coming through that resonates with you. I just want you to know we do what we need to do, and especially with matters of the heart, um, just do it with purpose. Don't feel ashamed. Whatever you want, whatever you feel, that's what you feel. And you don't need to justify your motives to anybody. Okay, and just know that whatever advice or people are coming in telling you you should do this, you should do that, take it with a grain of salt because I feel like people care about you and they just want you to be okay. So that's why they feel the need to interject because they feel like you're doing something that they don't want you to see you get hurt. But you need to live out your experience. You need to like let the karma play out in your own life to figure out where you stand and to at least get closure. But once again, if it's like the same old story, repeat it 3, 4 times with an ex, not going to work out. So it's best to extract yourself. But I feel like a lot of you have devoted a lot of your time and your emotions in a specific cause. And I keep seeing, it's a cluster of air, fire, and here, air, fire, 9 of Swords and 7 of Wands. So it's like you're standing up for somebody, and it can be good. Like you might be dating somebody that no one approves of, or your family just doesn't approve of, and you're defending them, which is fine. Just make sure they're worth it. And we always know if our partner is worth it, okay? We always know. We have this internal barometer as to, a lot of times we might rationalize, we might lie to ourselves, we might sweep things under the rug, but we always know. So if you know, it's just, you're fighting a lost cause, better to just extract yourself and, save yourself the heartache down the line, but we always know. So, what's crowning this reading is the thing that you are thinking about here. We do have the Devil card and we do have the Judgment cards. This is a very, very good card overall, so I'm going to talk about this first. A lot of you are in a situation right now where you feel that things are being reciprocated, new love, new relationships, especially if you're dealing with an air sign, an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra. And I do feel a Capricorn energy as well, okay? So you might be in a new relationships where you feel like there is reciprocity and you have high hopes and high expectations. And you feel like, this is a new person, I like them, and I don't care what people say, so I am just going to be with them against all opposition. I'm looking at the fire here and it seems like somebody's kind of like put out to roast and they're just like, I don't care, I'm just going to go with what my heart tells me. So that's great. And then others of you, I feel, are finally extracting yourself from some bad situations with the Devil here, where you felt like you weren't in control, where you felt like the other person was either using you or unappreciative of your efforts, or they were going through some difficulties where they might even have issues with addiction. So I definitely overcoming a lot of negative energy, just like emotional baggage and things like that, in order to jumpstart a new relationship. So this is something that you are thinking about, overcoming the past and wanting to start your love life, date a different type of people, and not have to care so much about social expectations. Dating people that you haven't dated before as well comes out very strongly, and you feel like, what, I don't need to defend myself. I'm just gonna do whatever it is that I need to do. I also feel a lot of you might have dated a lot of, single, unattached people in the past. So you are moving forward and you might be as well dealing with somebody who has children from a previous engagement, or you might be even be in a situation where you might be third party to another person. And I feel like there is some element here about a little bit of shame if you're dealing with, people that you're not supposed to, either exes or people with children and things like that. So all of these elements are coming through very strongly for you. And the foundation is the situation on which things are built. We have the Wheel of Fortune, which basically means that, a lot of you, your hard work in the past is paying off. Somebody is coming back in and they're just like, you did a lot to help me. And I was foolish. So I definitely feel some reversal in that situation, or at least, the reversal in fortune for the other person for the better. And as a result, they are able to reciprocate financially. I feel a lot of you might have had like financial, if you were in a partnership and there were a lot of problems because of finances, all of these financial concerns are clearing up. So you're in a good space, okay? If you're with somebody who had addiction issues, that's not clearing up. I don't see that clearing up, but I feel like it might be just, finances clearing up. We have as well the Five of Cups, which indicates, drinking, smoking excessively, and things like that. So linked up with the devil, it does indicate to me some type of, overindulgent energy. Somebody feels like they were on their high horse and they felt like life couldn't catch, things wouldn't catch up to them. Another thing that I want to say is I do feel a lot of positive energy here where you are dealing with a love partner or a new person, especially, and I feel like I hope a lot of you are dealing with new people. You're dealing with somebody who's very, very intelligent, okay? I feel like they are somebody very charismatic. They might have like a tendency for, the good life, going out to really, really extravagant places, ordering really extravagant drinks here with the magician. He knows how to have a good time. So you might be dealing with somebody like that. You might be wanting to do that. But I feel as well the energy here is that you are encountering somebody that is sweeping you off your feet, and they might have a little bit of an extravagant lifestyle, and it's not up to you to try to keep up. It's just, there has to be some type of moderation. So for this relationship to work, there has to be some recalibrating in your expectations and their expectations, and where you both are headed together as a unit, because I feel like, there's a burst of good financial fortune, and then the other person might just go wild. So we need to do some recalibrating when it comes to, what we need to do as a couple here. But overall, it is very good energy. I see a lot of you are have met somebody. You might have overcome really bad relationships in the past where you dumped a lot of your love and emotions and time and resources, and you've moved on from that. You're meeting somebody new that is potentially an air sign, an Aquarius, a Gemini, Libra, somebody who is very, very intelligent, very charismatic, and they're coming into quite a bit of money, or they are financially very stable. So overall, a very good month. I do see relationships being taken to the next level. I do see the element of meeting the family. So that's, engagements, marriages, and relationships being moved to the next level. I also feel as well overcoming adversities from the past when it comes to finances, okay? For you single people who are like not dating, or at least are trying to meet new people, I feel that dating outside of your usual type is going to be important for you. I see a lot of you have gotten out of relationships. You're still, for the past 3 months, I feel like you might have recently broke up with somebody the last 3 months. You're out having a lot of, guys' night out, girls' night out, and I do feel there is potential here to meet a very strong, like start off a platonic type of situation with an air sign, an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra. And I feel like a lot of you are still anxious about starting over, but I do sense very prominent air sign for those of you who are single, especially, okay? So overall, very, very busy month. Take care of yourself. If you like a private reading, please visit my website. The information is in the description box below, where you can view my availability and book an appointment for yourself. Take care of yourself, Aries. I'll be back in the mid-month reading. Bye-bye.